It's pretty weird to think of this as a phone. It's so much more than a phone. It's basically what this thing is an extension of you at this point. Like, you use this to transmit your vibe to another person. It's a vibe transmitter. Transmit the vibe. Bro, this is not a phone. This is a... What is this thing? The hell? Think about it. You just like put your vibe into here and someone's just on the other side. Receiving that vibe, receiving said vibe. Wow. I think that a lot of our mental health issues would be solved or greatly benefited if we all spent time. If we all spent time in a green space, surrounded by stillness. I think so many of our ailments that we have as a society would diminish if it's like they increase the further we get away from nature. Like all the things that our sicknesses and our mental sickness and our spiritual sickness, it's like it increases as we get further from nature, it seems like. I mean, I pay attention to my life and the way I feel and pay attention to society, and that's what I've been able to gather. That when I'm able to spend time in places like this, it literally keeps me sane, right? But it's like so many of our societies is in the concrete zoo, you know? Just surrounded by just constant chaos kind of, and movement and noise and stimulation. It's like, I don't know if that's natural in the sense that, you know, it's so different than what we evolved in, you know, and we're living in this world that we created so kind of removed from harmony of nature. And we are nature. So it just only makes sense that the further we get from ourselves as nature, the further we get away from nature, the further we are from who we are and our capacity as a human species, or capacity to evolve. And you know, we can't just live a separate life over here and then have nature over there. It's like nature's everywhere. But I just think that the world would be a lot better place if people were able to do something like this. Spend time with themselves, spend time away from the stimulation and the news and the noise, and just connect to that source that is what we came from. You know, in the city we're surrounded all day by man-made creations, mind-made creations. This is like a whole human world, you know? But when you get out into nature like this, you're surrounded by things that aren't made by man. Surrounded by things that were made by God. And you still are in the city, but they've just all been altered by man. But there's something about being, you know, seeing the wildlife and hearing the birds and the bugs, you know, it's like life, you know, that we didn't create. I think we get so caught up in maybe I should speak for myself, but we get caught up in the life that we create, and we get so lost in the world that we create that we forget it's kind of relative, you know? Like, there's this whole other world that is being guided by the Creator, and maybe to some extent our lives are too. We just don't know it, but I just feel like I'm closer to God when I'm out here. Whatever that means to you. But how can you go out in a place like this, watch the sunset, feel the breeze, smell the trees, and not believe in a God? You feel that? Like, whatever you believe is what you believe, but you have to admit, this planet is incredible. It's such a special place to live, man. And we're lucky to be able to be a part of it and experience this. We're lucky to have bodies, you know, and get to treat our body right, good, or however you want to treat it. And your body's part of nature, you know. Your body just keeps trying to keep you living and fighting for you to stay alive. And your lungs even breathe by themselves, you know. Your heart beats by itself. Hair grows by itself. There's a lot more going on here than the worlds that we create as humans. You know, we're part of a larger system of harmony. And we can either connect into that and live in it somehow, or create outside of that harmony and create a destruction world that doesn't honor who we really are. It doesn't honor nature, you know? Because that is who we are. And that's why going out here is like reconnecting back to yourself. And maybe that's a big reason the world is in so much pain. Because we're not taking the time to reconnect to ourselves, maybe, to nature. Sounds so simple, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's partly true. People will listen to that and say, hippie. People call you a hippie like it's a bad thing. I think you can be a hippie that's contributing to society and, you know, creating consciously, living your life consciously. Like, what's wrong with that? Always seeking more understanding. It's foolish not to see our connection to nature and feel that, you know? Because we're hurting ourselves when we hurt nature, man. We're killing ourselves. And the fact that we don't see our connection to it is the biggest problem in our life and in our world. That there's like been a connection and it seems to have been severed, you know? And I shouldn't speak for everyone, but for the majority of the society, you know? We have to like make it a point on our own, individually, purposefully, to get back into nature. I mean, maybe for someone else, they find God in other ways, and that's great and everything, and not everyone likes doing that. But this is just my view, you know? Anyway, nature loves you, God loves you, I love you. Clocking out.